I was gonna start with AI, but I know everybody's asking you about AI, so I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Okay.
I saw you were a fan of transparent gadgets.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, it just looks cool. I mean, honestly, I'm an aesthetic person. I like the transparent, I talked about the Beats headphones that have like a frost over them, but you can still see some of the internals. That's cool. I don't know, I just like appreciating the inside of complicated tech. So transparent is the way to do that.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the year of AI, so we do have to talk about AI.
For sure,
Right?
for sure.
So what's the coolest AI that you've seen so far?
Okay, so I mean, generative AI is getting all the attention, but genuinely, I make a lot of videos, create a lot of stuff, and what I've started doing is using it to help brainstorm and help come up with content and concepts and ideas, and it's really good at it.
Yeah.
It's like surprisingly good at it. So I've honestly, that's top of the list for me, just like helping me do what I do, and what can be better than that?
Yeah, AI can help people just like create, right? You can go from 0 to 1 way faster than ever.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And when you think about over the past 5 years, even maybe beyond artificial intelligence, what's been the most innovative technology that you've seen?
Well, I feel like we're on kind of like a couple frontiers. Like when I think of innovative, I actually kind of spin it a little bit to like really revolutionary stuff, because innovative, like smartphones got better and better and better over and over. Cameras got better and better. All of that is innovation.
Yeah.
But I kind of like electric cars because we just sort of like jumped from
yeah,
gas
yeah.
cars to electric cars,
Yeah.
and now we got to innovate on that.
Yeah.
And I've seen some really good ones. There's some really good stuff out there.
Yeah.
So you see everything first, which is really fun because companies will send you products first and you're the one testing them out. What have you seen that we haven't seen that really gets you excited?
Well, I think the one everyone's wondering about is Apple Vision Pro, which is their AR, VR, spatial computing headset. We've seen the videos. I got to try it for half an hour, and that experience was incredible just because the tech is so good. You don't expect, I've tried a lot of early demo tech, and I'll be honest, a lot of it is bad.
Yeah.
A lot of it is bad. So to actually get an early demo of a product that doesn't even come out for like half a year and actually be really, really impressive just technically was impressive. So
How
I think that's-
excited were they when you said that?
'Cause the thing is, like, once that came out, there were so many people in that company who were like, I've been working on this for 8 years and I couldn't say anything. My spouse was wondering what I was working on, and now I can tell people about it. So they were really excited about it. Clearly, a lot of work has gone into it. So it'll be excited when the world gets to see it too.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
If you were to design your own smartphone, what's a feature that you would use?
Well, I'll definitely steal a transparent back. We gotta have a little bit of a look into the back and the inner workings of the phone. And then I'd probably prioritize some camera stuff we don't see too often, because I make a lot of videos, and I talk about the photo quality a lot, but the video quality kind of gets left behind a little bit. I'd probably focus on that too.
As a creator, I agree with you. I'm thinking maybe you should invent one.
I'm gonna try. Why not? Why not?
And thinking about, you know, hardware technology, software technology, what are kind of some of your, or I would say your one favorite app? If you could only live with one app, what would be the most significant?
I mean, I have to say YouTube, right? I feel like I have to. YouTube is the way that I share all the things that I make with the world, so that's like, you know, number one, 1A has gotta be YouTube. But I'll throw in my task manager and my calendar because I cannot operate without them.
Yeah, you need that productivity.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know where I'm going unless I look at my calendar and it tells me where I'm going, so that's like super useful. There's also a lot of stuff we take for granted. Google Maps, like just tell me where I am and where I'm going. Super useful.
I'm old enough to remember when those didn't exist.
Oh yeah, you
For
gotta
maps, I am
print
too.
the papers out before you leave the house.
My mom did the whole MapQuest on the table. So
Yeah.
we did that dance. I can appreciate the Google Maps experience now.
So I was watching a lot of your YouTube videos, and one of the things that I really valued is that you're big on energy. And you're also big on investing in the next generation of innovators, of kids who are interested in technology. What advice do you have for the next generation of technologists?
Man, it's got to be something you're interested in. That's what it really comes down to. So anytime I'm asked to give advice, I kind of look back at my own experience, and the reason I got to do what I do is because I care a lot about videos, tech, production, things like that. So the fact that I was able to get into that means I'm going to put in the extra work. I'm going to really care about the results that I get. And I think if you're going to be into tech in any way, whether it's developing or making apps or coming up with ideas, a technologist in general, you just have to care. So if it's something you care about, you already know, and I think that's the best first step.
Yeah, and you mentioned electronic vehicles earlier. So
Yeah.
AST, Space Mobile, they made their very first direct-to-satellite voice call. with an everyday smartphone. It's the first time in history that that's ever happened, right?
AT&T did.
Yeah. Little shout out. Talk to me about why you think that's important, and what do you kind of see for the future of connectivity with electronic vehicles?
Yeah, okay, so I mean, satellite connectivity is one of those things where it was almost like, in case of emergency, break glass, use this, but it's always advancing, and when the tech gets better, that's super useful. But yeah, the cars in general, like, you don't think about how much of a computer on wheels that is until you actually look inside and realize all the things that it's doing. Something I've said is, Ford, Tesla, Rivian, Lucid, all these companies make cars, but they all have to be software companies too.
Yes.
Because we interact with that software when we're driving the car. So that's really interesting to watch, and some of them are getting really good at it, and that's inspiring to see, so I hope that gets better too.
Yeah, and as someone who's in technology, you talk about tech every day, what are some of the new skills that you feel like people should really start actually taking advantage of to actually start getting into technology?
I would definitely suggest playing with these AI tools, because I was talking about this before, kind of the same way that the last 40 years of humans have had to figure out what to type in that google.com box to get what they want to find. I think the next 40 years of humans are going to have to figure out what to put in that AI box. Well, we've got ChatGPT now, Bard now, but the idea of prompt engineering being a skill that's actually genuinely useful in the future for people to get things done is super real.
And it's like critical thinking, right? I think sometimes when we think about artificial intelligence, it's like, oh, I'm not useful anymore. When in reality, our brain and the ability to critically think and prompt becomes more important.
I think of it as like an assisting tool. Like, people go, oh, is my job safe? Am I going to be replaced? But I think if you can work with AI, you can get a lot more done kind of building on that rather than just replacing you with AI. So it's got to be an assistive tool.
I kind of live by the quote, if you want better answers, ask better questions. And to me, that's ChatGPT, right? So I recently learned that you type in your question and then from the perspective of, and that really helps. Is there something that you've been using that you should put us onto?
In the style of is another good one. Also, it's surprisingly responsive to just the length of prompts. So this is an extremely specific example, but I often end my review videos with a quick alliteration that sums up the product. The Pixel is great for pristine photos, something like that. And just asking,
that's a good one.
Right? It's just like, it's a phone, it's got a nice feature, you can summarize it in a nice way.
Creator, technologist, rapper.
Right.
But it's, asking these prompts, give me a short alliteration about X in the style of X. Shorten it, please. Shorten it again, please. It's really good at responding to that type of stuff.
Wow.
So I've been doing that a lot too.
Wow. And if you can go back in time, right, what would you tell your younger self now?
Oh man, that's a classic. And the truth is, I wouldn't say a thing. I think there's a lot of learning experiences that make you who you are. And if you try to fast forward through that, you might not really get the full value of the lesson. So honestly, I would just say, keep doing what you're doing. You're on a good path. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And you're always on the go, right? And so you stay connected to what's going on in the world, but how do you stay connected to yourself?
Wow. I mean, digital well-being is one of those terms that gets tossed around a lot. I like just having things to myself, which sounds crazy as someone who posts on social media for a living, but it is important to have things for yourself, experiences for yourself, family for yourself, time for yourself. I think that's, if you don't have that, you're kind of just missing out. So I'd recommend anyone who's thinking about it, stuff for yourself.
Awesome.
Marques, thank you.
Thank
for
you.
your time.
Thanks for having me.